I'm a big fan of just shooting my shot when I can. So sent a text to one of the owners and I was like, hey man, what's it gonna take to get my name on a beer can in there? Oh man, speaking of beer, so this was a really special time in the gym where we had a beer named after us. Wrong Crowd Brewing, Wrong Crowd Beer Company, a friend of ours, part owner of Sidebar, which has been the host of dozens and dozens of events, always the Gage's after party. They collaborated with some brewers and opened Wrong Crowd Beer Company. They opened like right after COVID, tough time to open. But I'm a big fan of just shooting my shot when I can. So sent a text to one of the owners and I was like, hey man, what's it gonna take to get my name on a beer can in there? Or put my logo on a beer can? And he was like, dude, let's do it. So the Little Jim Big Hops beer was born. This was a really fun process because I kind of met with their head brewer and I was like, his name is Dan. So I got to meet with Dan, talk about some of my favorite beers, some of the hops that I like to drink, and really, what is the vibe that we want to get from the beer? So I wanted something a little lighter, hoppy. I'm drinking some Wrench here, and that's one of my favorite beers. But the Little Jim Big Hops turned out to be one of my absolute favorite beers, and I was shocked that I actually liked it so much because we use hops that I wasn't even that familiar with because the other hops were tough to get. But the whole process was really fun. One of our members is a graphic designer, Michelle Fitzgerald. She was able to do the actual label design where we were able to take our logo and just tie in all kinds of stuff from the gym and really make it come to life. So I went and poured the hops and helped with the brewing process one day. And we did a whole promotional run with all of this. We had an event, a canning event for all of our members. We brought like 6 or 8 people out and we canned the beers, slapped the labels on them. And then obviously we had our opening day, and just a really cool experience, start to finish. I'm so grateful for Wrong Crowd for allowing us to go do that. I would bet that we sold a hell of a lot of beer that day because we filled the place. I know like my family bought a ton of beer. It's always cool to see your name on a beer can, or in any product for that matter. So the Little Jim Big Hops, I'll never forget that. I still have one of the labels that I saved, and just like a really cool opportunity to collaborate with a local business. So you won't ever see this again. It's not something they're gonna make again, but maybe you'll see another Gage beer in the future. So Justin, Adam, if you guys are watching this, let's talk. But speaking of Wrong Crowd, we had another experience with Wrong Crowd with the Gage Olympics. So it was also right around this time that the Gage Olympics got started. And this photo is a really special memory from that. This is Steph Breed pulling Nick's truck. No, Kevin McDonald's truck. And really cool moment. So the Gage Olympics started as just another idea that we had to get everybody together and show them how strong they could be, and really just help our clients tap into another level, another gear of their life. So we wanted to make sure we included some events like a truck pull. So letting our members pull a truck, just like lifting a car. We talked about in a previous episode, something that a lot of people never thought they could do. And we gave them the opportunity to show them that they are stronger than they thought. So the Gage Olympics was a really cool event. where we did a whole slew of events. We had food and drinks, and it was just a great time. And we did the after party at Wrong Crowd. And again, always the greatest hosts. We had a great time, and the Gage Olympics is something that we're going to continue doing every single year and improving upon. And this year we had a pig roast that was a part of it that was really fun. So the Gage Olympics were just something that we did, and it was immediately like, this is something that we will never stop doing. This is something that is forever and ever something that we will do. And yeah, just a really special time in Gage strength training history when the Gage Olympics began. Another part of the Gage Olympics that is important to remember was the heat that day. It was so hot the day of the Olympics, and we all wore gray shirts that were completely soaked through. So it was a brutally hot day. Probably the worst day of the year to do something like that, because it was brutally hot. And everybody came out. They were all troopers, just phenomenal competitors. And it was just a really fun time, but the heat was brutal. We were having to pour water on the kettlebells because the black kettlebells were so hot. It was burning people's hands. Another part of that event that I'll never forget is one of our members, Teddy, it's one of our high school athletes, did an event that he was not sure he was able to do. He did a kettlebell farmer carry with, I think it was 75 pounds in each hand. And he did it almost collapsing at the end, and just had the whole place cheering for him. So Teddy's whole family was members of the gym. Amy and Maddie Novak have been awesome members, but this was a huge moment for Teddy because he was able to compete in this event that he really never thought he would be able to do, passed with flying colors, and even though he was gonna collapse at the end of it, he did it, and he will always remember that, and I will always remember being able to host that event for so many people was amazing. Hey guys, thank you for joining me while I share 10 years of memories from Gage Strength Training. Listen, this month is our 10-year anniversary at Gage Strength Training. So for the next 20 people that contact me, we are giving away a month's membership for only $10. So for the first 20 people, you can get an entire month of training for only $10 if you contact me at devin@gagestrengthtraining.com. We will give you an entire month of training for $10 for the entire month.